All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going on a little journey down what's known as the Royal Road of Tarot. We're going to uncover the 5 core tenets, the big ideas that can take a reader from just being good to being a true master, someone who can genuinely and responsibly help people. So let's get started.
So what is it? What's the secret sauce that separates a casual card reader from a real tarot master? Is it just about memorizing all 78 card meanings? Or is there something, a little deeper going on? The answer, as you'll see, isn't just about what you know. It's about how you approach the cards, yourself, and the stories they're waiting to tell.
You know, the early mystics, they had a name for this path to tarot wisdom. They called it the Royal Road. And let's be clear, it's not a shortcut. It's more like a transformative apprenticeship, a journey that gives you the tools for some really profound insight. Think of it as the scenic route to genuine mastery.
And where does that journey begin? Well, it starts in the one place most people forget to look, inward. This brings us to the first, and honestly, probably the most important tenet of all: know thyself. This ancient Greek saying, know thyself, is really the ultimate key to unlocking tarot. Sure, the cards hold all these universal secrets, but you can't even begin to understand them until you discover your own hidden depths. We're talking practices like meditation, journaling, getting to know who you really are.
So before you can ever hope to light the way for someone else, you have to be willing to pick up the Hermit's lantern and explore your own inner world. Understanding your own biases, your strengths, your soul, that is the foundation. Everything else is built right on top of it.
Okay, so once you've started that inner work, it's time to actually learn the language the cards are speaking. Because tarot isn't just a pile of pictures, it's a really complex, symbolic language. It has its own vocabulary, its own grammar.
The basic vocabulary is built on the 4 suits. Think of them as the nouns of tarot. You've got wands, representing that fiery energy of action and creativity. Cups govern the whole watery realm of emotions and intuition. Swords cut through with the clarity of intellect and truth. And pentacles, well, they ground us in the real material world. Mastering these is absolutely non-negotiable.
And if the suits are the nouns, then the numbers are the verbs. They're what create the plot. Each suit tells a story from 1 to 10. The ace is that initial spark of pure potential. Numbers 2 through 9, that's the journey with all its struggles and growth. And the 10, that's the completion of the cycle, which always leads to some kind of new transformation. Understanding this flow is how you start to see the big picture.
So you know yourself, and you're learning the language. Awesome. But without focus, you're not going to get very far. That brings us to our 3rd tenet, and it is a big one. Intention is everything.
This quote from a reader really just says it all. A reading is a focused dialogue. So if you come at it with a scattered mind or a fuzzy question, guess what? You're gonna get a fuzzy, scattered answer. It sounds like day 1 tarot school stuff, but you would be shocked how often people forget this.
And here's the difference in black and white. A vague question is like, will I have a good month? It's passive, it's closed off. But a powerful question, what should I be aware of to achieve the best outcome? See how that's totally different? It's active. It's asking for guidance, not just a yes or no prediction. That tiny shift turns tarot from a fortune-telling toy into a real tool for empowerment.
Okay, now we get to the real art form. Once you have the self-awareness, the language, and the intention locked down, you have to become a storyteller. This is what truly separates a technician from an artist. A master reader doesn't just sit there and list off card meanings one by one. That's boring. They see the connections. They weave the individual cards together into a single, cohesive story that just flows and really hits home for the person they're reading for. Let me show you an example. So let's imagine a simple 3-card reading. For the past position, let's say we draw the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, the story starts right here. There was a major turning point, a big shift in circumstances that got the ball rolling on everything.
Now for the present challenge, that turning wheel leads right to this, the Tower. A moment of sudden dramatic chaos where all the old structures are just crumbling down. You can see how one leads to the other, right?
And then, for the outcome, from the wreckage of the tower, what emerges? The star, hope, healing, a brand new sense of purpose. Do you see it? Beginning, middle, end. It's a whole, meaningful story of crisis and recovery. And that is so much more powerful than just rattling off 3 separate definitions. This brings us to the final and maybe the most freeing tenet of tarot mastery. After you've learned all the rules, you have to learn when to trust your gut. and go beyond them.
Think of it this way. Established spreads like the Celtic Cross are fantastic training wheels, but they're not meant to be permanent. True mastery really blossoms when you start modifying spreads to fit a question, or even better, when you design your own. It's all about developing a personal relationship with the cards and trusting your intuition, especially when a card's message feels a little different than what the book says.
And you have to remember, there is no single ultimate authority on tarot. Every master out there develops their own unique methods through tons of practice and personal experience. Your path to mastery is going to be your own, and that is exactly how it should be.
So there you have it. We've walked the royal road and we've laid out the 5 fundamental tenets that pave the way to real insight and skill with the tarot.
So let's recap real quick. It all starts with knowing yourself. Then, you master the symbolic language of the suits and numbers. You bring clear, powerful intention to every single question. You learn to weave the cards into a compelling story. And finally, you learn to trust your own intuition to be your ultimate guide.
This isn't just a set of rules, it's a map. The path is laid out right in front of you. So the only real question left is, what story are your cards going to tell you first?